Gold is valued at $1,330 digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Indiana received federal approval to require some low-income residents to work, study, or perform public service to qualify for Medicaid. On Friday, the Department of Health and Human Services Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services approved the Healthy Indiana Plan. 3 weeks ago, Kentucky became the first state to be approved to install a work requirement. Other states are interested in similar plans. 3 years ago, the Obama administration rejected the state's attempt to impose work requirements. Last summer, the state submitted a plan known as Healthy Indiana Plan 2.0. That plan would require some 130,000 state residents on Medicaid who aren't already in compliance to work, enroll in school, undergo job training, or volunteer for at least 20 hours a week over 8 months each year. Some of those residents, though, may be exempt from the requirements. Those exempt include people who are pregnant, some caregivers, the frail, students, people at least 60 years old, and those being treated for substance abuse problems. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports U.S. House Speaker Paul Ryan deleted a tweet on Saturday cheering a $1.50 increase to a Pennsylvania school teacher's weekly pay because of a $1.5 trillion tax cut after it drew criticism that he was out of touch with ordinary Americans. Ryan's tweet had linked to an Associated Press article on Americans reaping the benefits of the tax cuts. The story cited an example, Julia Ketchum, a secretary at a public school in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, who said she was pleasantly surprised her pay went up $1.50 a week. Ryan tweeted, a secretary at a public high school in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, said she was pleasantly surprised her pay went up $1.50 a week. She said that will more than cover her Costco membership for the year. Ryan's office was not immediately available to comment over the weekend. The Trump administration and Republicans have cast the massive tax cuts, which came into effect in January, as creating jobs and boosting economic growth. But critics have argued that they benefited the rich and would blow up the national debt. Some social media users accused Ryan of being out of touch with California Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, posting on Twitter, "Guess someone told Paul Ryan you shouldn't go around praising yourself for giving a working person an extra $1.50 a week because he deleted the tweet." House Democrat leader Nancy Pelosi also criticized Ryan's tweet, tweeting herself, "Paul Ryan deleted this embarrassing tweet of a blatant admission because he and the Republicans don't want you to know the truth. The hashtag GOP tax scam is a gift to corporate America and the top 1% at your expense." This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Bewildered paralegal Caitlin Levy says that after returning home from work today, it occurred to her that oddly at no point during her day was she harassed, leered at, or made to feel humiliated or physically threatened.
It's weird. Looking back on it, I suddenly realized that not one strange man made a creepy comment at me or an obscene gesture or a sleazy look for like the whole day. How can that be?
The 29-year-old told reporters that even at points in her day when she is traditionally almost certain to be made uncomfortable by at least one or two leering male strangers, not a single such instance occurred.
I actually got to walk from the train to my office and never once catch some weirdo smiling at me or looking me up and down or slowing down his car to yell some shit out the window at me. I felt weirdly safe or something.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything that you want. The live Sunday edition of the program. Of course, it is also Super Bowl Sunday tonight if you're listening to us while you're watching the game. I'd just like to say we appreciate you being there. The we tonight in the studio includes me, Ian.
Me, Johnny Ray.
And me, Mark.
And, of course, you can bring up anything that you want. Daryl W. Perry, who is one of our regular co-hosts here on Free Talk Live, recommended a story to us for tonight. He is actually watching the big game, Super Bowl Sunday here. But there's an interesting story that the folks over at FEE.org, the Foundation for Economic Education, are posting up here. Headline, no stadium subsidies, not even for the Super Bowl. Charles Hughes writes, this Sunday, the New England Patriots will make their seemingly annual appearance, this time against the underdog Philadelphia Eagles. Minnesotans are undoubtedly feeling down after their promising team fell one game short of playing a Super Bowl at home, but they should be upset about the generous public subsidies that they are paying for it. They need to look no further than more than $500 million in associated subsidies and public funds that went into the U.S. Bank Stadium. According to the story here, after the roof of the previous stadium collapsed under the weight of snow, it became clear that some kind of new facility would be needed for the team. Vikings owner Ziggy Wilf made it clear that he wanted public subsidies to defray the cost, unveiling a proposal that would have required about $400 million in subsidies.
Yeah, just about every team. I don't know of a team that doesn't get some kind of huge subsidy, and the reason is because teams get subsidies.
Well, the reason that, without having read the details here, I don't know if they make the argument of the other side, but, you can make the argument from the other side. The reason is that this is an economic benefit, Mark, that everybody in the area of the stadium, everybody in the region benefits from the stadium's presence there. This is a business that is more important than other businesses. Yes, we understand there are other businesses of people who've put their life savings into their businesses and risked it all. We understand that you guys exist, but the stadium business is much, much more important. This is the crown jewel of the area, of the region. We attract people from all around the United States, business that would not otherwise be here. So all of you in downtown, wherever it is that this thing is being built, wherever it is we're talking about, whether it's, Minneapolis or whatever, all of you that own businesses, even though you're going to be taxed ultimately to pay for these subsidies, you should be happy about it because we're bringing you new business. These people wouldn't have come downtown possibly, and they certainly wouldn't have gone into your business, but it's because the stadium is there, so you should thank us.
Yeah, that's the notion.
It's entertainment socialism, and it benefits the rich at the expense of the poor, like all versions of socialism.
It's really the truth. Ultimately, you pick your city. I don't care what it is. Let's do Tampa Bay because both you and I are from there, and we're familiar with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their stadium. Have you ever been to?
I am from Tampa Bay. Johnny Ray is not.
Yeah. Have you been
Nashville.
from the Ray J Stadium, Ian?
I think I might have seen a Metallica show there, but that might have been the Ice Palace.
Yeah, it's probably the Ice Palace.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been there.
Okay, so basically, it's a stadium inside of a big parking lot surrounded by businesses, most of them that serve alcohol and wings, right?
Sure. Yeah. Good place for a bar.
There'll be some hotels and that kind of thing in the immediate vicinity. And I can't imagine if you're across town, a half an hour, 45 minutes across town, and that's not terribly far in most cities, that it is much effect for you at all if your team is going to the Super Bowl or whatever. And what about when it doesn't? It's just sort of a tribal activity. It doesn't have anything to do with the property taxes of a business or an individual across town. It doesn't affect you really much at all quantifiably.
Well, yes. That's probably the truth. But the argument is that is this intangible of, if you didn't have, and of course you can't compare apples to or apples to apples in this situation because if you have the stadium, you don't know if it would be different for you if the stadium weren't there, and so they ride on the idea that
you could say
it would be different.
Things are doing just fine in Las Vegas.
Where they don't have a sports team?
There's no sports team in Las Vegas.
Yeah, there is now. They've got a hockey team.
They do?
Yeah,
See?
the NHL, the
Now-
Golden Knights.
Now everything's better in Las Vegas because the
it's
hockey
not.
team.
I mean, everything was just fine in Vegas. I don't think there's much of an argument that life is better other than you get a sports team for which to root. And I'll say this as somebody from Manatee County, Florida, which is a county south of Hillsborough, which is the county in which the Buccaneers are. We don't get taxed at all to pay for that stadium that I know of. Maybe there's some state dollars that go into it that come through sales tax that I might be unaware of, in which case everybody's getting taxed for it. People in Pensacola on down to Key West, which is like 12 hours from each other. But I liked the Buccaneers growing up. I like the Buccaneers now. Why shouldn't I have to pay if, and why shouldn't I have to pay, but somebody who's a few minutes north of me does? It doesn't make any sense.
It makes sense for the people receiving the subsidies, though.
Absolutely. Welfare recipients always think that welfare makes sense. In this case, you're talking about welfare for millionaires.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
multimillionaires, in some cases, billionaires because of the owners.
Yeah, but Mark, you're trying to distract from the fact that they also employ janitors. They employ people who, they're not making $1 billion a year.
Lots of businesses like the Ice Palace that you just mentioned employ people. Entertainment businesses manage to employ people without tax subsidies. It's really just sports.
Yeah.
It's really just mostly it's football, in my opinion, but it's a lot of it's just sports.
In Asheville, growing up, we had the Asheville Civic Center, and it was always on talk radio as being a burden on the city. I think the city owned it partly. The access parking-wise was terrible, and it was just a perennial problem every
Mismanagement.
year.
The
Declining revenues.
Right.
Usually the rates, because it's the government, they don't understand what a good rent rate is. So they tend to be too high priced for these things. So you'll find other people undercutting them for a venue. And then you're like, well, what do we have this Civic Center for if all this stuff is going on elsewhere? How come it's not at the Civic Center? Well, because the union people
You
at the Civic
bureaucrats
Center
don't know what you're doing.
don't want to, we're not going to clean up for them for a 10% margin, but somebody else will.
I have a friend who's a banker in Asheville, and he said that way back in the day that that land was owned by a city councilor, and he got a sweetheart deal to have the city buy it for the Civic Center. And that's why it's in such an inconvenient place, and part of the reason why it doesn't work.
That story is repeated over and over and over again all across America.
Well, in this case, it's Vikings owner Ziggy Wilf, who said he wanted subsidies up to $400 million in order to build a new stadium for the team in that town, whatever the hell team that is in Minnesota. And after the Vikings, after the state's House Government Operations and Elections Committee voted it down, the station or the team owner, Ziggy, he warned them that a failure to pass the deal could lead to serious consequences. Like losing your team. It's your team. You don't want to lose your team. Come on, guys. This gives the people of Minnesota something to rally around. This gives the people of Minnesota something to come together on. This gives them something to talk about over the water cooler. This brings people together. Sports gives people something to relate to one another about. You want to take that away from people over a paltry $400 million? I mean, you government guys, you can afford $400 million. You've got all kinds of money. What's the big deal here?
Well, the government people don't have any money. They just take it from people. And
who should be grateful that you are giving them something to talk about, something that they can have relationships based on. That their team, they can feel like they're part of something that they can win.
Yeah, I understand the notion that I'm supposed to be delighted by the colors or the location, or maybe even some of the talent that's on a particular football squad.
It's your team.
It is if I say it is.
Yeah.
And it's not if I say it isn't. And that's really the problem, I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I don't think I've watched a game in 10 years. Not my team, really.
Could you name one of the players?
No. I'd have to call my wife. She'd know.
Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. Your comments on stadium subsidies.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Because we are smothering in spam, please do not reply to all when you can instead reply. I was recently among over 100 invited to a corporate reunion. It's always a warm affair, and that's the problem. Enthusiasm for our upcoming get-together caused many recipients to RSVP the organizer with a cheery reply to all. I can't wait. Then others piled on with a reply to all to that. Then the "I'm out of my office now" autoresponders joined in. So I replied to all, asking that we all reply only to the organizer. Hey, at least I tried. One invitee, apparently retired, shot back, "Point taken, but I really like seeing the responses since they're so positive." Smiley face. This better be an open bar. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love. But make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll free and bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we have Skype, so join us on Skype. Skype username LRN.FM, or call the Discord. Discord.lrn.fm gets you in there. And then you can interact with other Free Talk Live listeners during, before, and after the show. And you can use the Discord on-air call-in line to call us up and sound really great discord.lrn.fm.
Whole Food Multi-Complete really is a singular supplement. There's not much like it out there. It's made from food, not synthetics, vitamins, and that sort of thing. So it has vitamins and minerals, but it's also got enzymes and probiotics and antioxidants and immune support and bone and joint support, energy support, everything that you need in one supplement, basically, at a price that nobody's going to be able to match otherwise, because they have spent a long time trying to put this together, and they've got connections that others don't. It's the perfect blend of supplements in a single product. They've taken the expense and complexity out of following a complete supplement program. Visit simplifymysupplements.com, and you can learn more about this great product that I love and I'm going to continue to take no matter what. You can enter coupon code FTL, and you receive 10% off your order every time. So always use your code FTL. Yes, they take Bitcoin. Yes, they take Dash. Your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. SimplifyMySupplements.com. Coupon code FTL.
We're talking about stadium subsidies, and I am doing my best to channel the emotional aspects of the arguments in favor of stadium subsidies. And you guys are rebutting those. We'll get into more of what the Foundation for Economic Education has to say about the matter. And, of course, they're going to be against stadium subsidies. But the typical arguments for them are that, sports teams are important to an area's economy. The claim that new business comes into an area because of the existence of a sports team, and so therefore that should justify the expenditure of taxpayer dollars on those stadiums. And then just sort of the general more larger concept of a sports team ties an area together, and that we need to have a sports team, and if you don't give them subsidies, they'll go somewhere else. And that's what I suspect that the owner of the Minnesota Vikings, Ziggy Wilf, was claiming when he told the state's House Government Operations and Elections Committee that voted down his proposal for up to $400 million in subsidies, that if they did not pass the deal, that it would lead to serious consequences. He even went so far, according to Fee, as to visit Los Angeles, at the time the top relocation possibility for NFL franchises, and policymakers at all levels then eventually relented. The subsidies should be enough to raise eyebrows and elicit concern on their own, but the Viking Stadium went a step further. According to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, government appointees of the Minnesota Sports Facilities Authority, who oversee the stadium on behalf of taxpayers and negotiated the deal, received free tickets to 2 lower-level luxury suites for all events. That's to say that the board members received the tickets, not members of the public who are ultimately paying for the stadium.
Well, they are and they aren't, right? So the public's money is used for it, but ultimately, once you've been robbed, your money isn't yours anymore.
That's true. You don't really have any say over it.
It's really those politicians' money, and those politicians are the ones that grease the wheels. So they're the ones who are going to get the tickets.
The data on who gets the 36 seats in the suites each game wasn't made available to the public.
I'll bet it wasn't.
The justification that was given was that the suites are for marketing purposes, and confidentiality is important for booking event spaces.
It's really important to market to the people that give you the big kickbacks.
No doubt.
Yes.
And let's see here. Confidentiality, they claim, is important for booking event spaces, although the appointees admit that, quote, friends and family are often in attendance, unquote. The backlash to these revelations.
Did you ever get the tickets to the Tampa Bay Lightning tickets that they had at 105.9 when we worked there?
I doubt it. I don't think I've ever seen a Lightning game in my life. So.
Apparently not. The thing is that you were sort of lower on the totem pole than I was, in the sense that I was sales and you were somewhere just between a board op disc jockey promotions. You were the lowest disc jockey, the highest board op, and then sometime promotions guy, right? Is that accurate?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not trying to be cruel or anything, but I think that's pretty accurate.
That's accurate. Yeah.
And I guess I always wondered, it would seem like the disc jockeys would get this stuff, but I don't think they did. I think that they just kept them and they'd hand them to the salespeople as benefits and stuff. I mean, I went in there, they had unlimited drinks. I got hammered at that event. It was awesome.
According to the story here, they justified that it is for marketing purposes. The backlash to these revelations was enough to cause the chairwoman and executive director of the board to resign last year, and the legislature to pass another bill to tighten oversight of finances and the suite use. So, I mean, that's what they're literally passing legislation over the executive suites and how they should be used at the state level. They're passing legislation about that. The Viking Stadium is just one of the more recent egregious examples in a now storied tradition of sports franchises squeezing residents for subsidies, often by leveraging the threat of relocation. One report estimates that the total amount of public funds flowing to the siting, construction, and operation of stadiums reaches up to $12 billion. Now, I don't know if that's over a one-year time frame or over a few years, but regardless, it's a lot of money. What are these localities getting in return for the generous public support of these stadiums? Not much. Most studies have found the stadiums have little effect on metrics related to economic performance, which is, of course, the main claim that you hear surrounding why public subsidies are necessary. And
well, I'm sure that it does very, very well for the businesses that are nearby, right? Like if you've got a place called, I don't know, the End Zoners, right? Yep. And you serve beer, and it's right next to the football stadium, and it's full of whatever that local football team's gear is.
Yep, you'll do all right.
You're going to do really well because you've got the location. Now, generally, what you're going to find is that businesses surrounding the football stadium or surrounding anything of interest are going to have higher prices. So the commercial real estate is going to cost more to rent.
Sure is.
And those are the people, honestly, that should be paying to support the stadium because they're the ones that are benefiting from it.
The owner of the building to increase, you mean by, they benefit from the increased rents?
Right, the owners, those sorts of things. And I guess that what that means is that the owner of the football stadium should really buy up the commercial property surrounding the football stadium and create a whole experience for people rather than just relying on taxpayers.
Yeah, but then they just ask for money to do that.
Well, the problem is that they've gotten money.
Yeah.
The first city that gave money to a professional sports team, the first, the city councilors that did that, they're the ones that should be taken out and beaten. Because at that point, once you give them $1, then $1 million, it's just the amount. There's no principled stand any longer. Best I can tell, every major sports team receives funding. There may be one out there somewhere, but I'd be really curious as to who it would be.
Right, because they can all just go out and shop around. They can shop around to whatever state or region is going to pay you the most. Most studies have found that the stadiums have little effect on metrics related to economic performance, such as local development or the growth rate of per capita personal income. While it may be hard to remember a time when subsidies were not the norm in the early days of professional sports, the overwhelming majority of stadiums were privately financed. I'll tell you more about stadium subsidies here on Super Bowl Sunday as you guys are out there. If you're not watching the game and you're with us, I appreciate it. If you're watching and still with us, that's pretty awesome. We appreciate you being here. You can, of course, call in still and take control of the airwaves. Share your thoughts at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's Free Talk Live.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Hawaii was a wake-up call. Don't be caught without a disaster shelter. Atlas makes an all-disaster shelter that will protect your family from fallout, tornadoes, and hurricanes for only $99.99. That also includes the NBC air filtration system, solid steel construction with an airtight, bulletproof door. That's right, for $99.99 and up. Call 1-855-4BUNKER or go to iwantthatshelter.com. Atlas Survival Shelters, the world leader in fallout shelters.
Free Talk Live.
So that's what government does, right? It's a tool of force. It's a coercive monopoly. It's a violent monopoly. And whoever is in charge gets to wield it to their benefit. They get to promote their views and force them down the throat of everybody else. They get to extract money from everybody and use it to benefit their friends.
Let's outlaw democracy instead of outlawing Islam.
That would make more sense. Outlawing government would make more sense than trying to ban people from coming to what at one time was the greatest plot of land on the entire Earth. I don't know if it can make that. I don't know if it can make that claim anymore.
But the evidence is that it cannot claim to be the freest, economically freest country in Earth. All you have to do is look at the Conservative Heritage Foundation's numbers, and you can go to freetheworld.com. Look there too. The fact is, the United States, not the freest country in the world. Sorry.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Juicy Juice, 100% juice, providing a full serving of fruit in every 4 ounces. Visit us at juicyjuice.com. When it comes to nutrition, kids need both fruits and vegetables every day to stay healthy and grow. For the ideal mix, your kid should have at least 1.5 cups of any veggie or 100% veggie juice, and 1 cup of any fruit or 100% fruit juice a day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can join us here on the live Sunday edition of the program. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And in 2 weeks from now, we're going to be wrapping up the Anarchapulco, the 4th annual Anarchapulco event. We went last year. Mark, you went to the first one, I think it was. You missed the second one. You went to the third one, and now we're going to the fourth one coming up here in a couple of weeks at the Princess Resort in Acapulco, Mexico. This has turned into, I think, the premier fun, party, libertarian, networking, anarchist, voluntarist event. I mean, it is a great event. It's a great time of the year to be down in Acapulco as well. And if you didn't get your tickets for this year, well, I'm sorry to say it sold out. I mean, it's good news for Anarchapulco, but bad news if you didn't get your tickets yet. So what you're going to have to do is check it out from a distance by listening to Free Talk Live. And also, it's my understanding, they're going to be live streaming for the first time ever. So this year, even if you didn't buy a ticket, you can still apparently watch it as it happens at anarchapulco.com. So make sure you bookmark that, especially to block off some time for 2019 when you're definitely going to want to be in that batch of tickets that does get sold for 2019, because it's a great event. And we'll look forward to seeing you there if you attend at anarchapulco.com. We'll be there, and that's coming up soon. So let's go to your calls and thoughts. We have been talking about stadium subsidies. Billions of dollars of government money, of your taxpayer dollars going into these stadiums to benefit, as you pointed out, Mark, millionaires and billionaires. Let's go to Kathy. She's calling from New Jersey, I think listening to WPG in Atlantic City. Go ahead, Kathy.
Hi.
Hey there.
I was calling about this stadium thing. There's one NFL team that does not get subsidies from the taxpayers, and that's the Green Bay Packers. They're
Really?
publicly owned. You buy stock and if they ever decide that they are going to move the team, they can't. It will be dissolved. It's in the charter.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How about that? There you go, Mark.
When they renovated the stadium, oh gosh, I can't remember what year it was. They put up bricks. You could buy a brick, and you'd pay so much for it. They put up different things that the public could buy, and they raised the money that way.
Oh, it's brilliant. So there you go. Where there's a will, there's a way. If somebody wants to build a stadium,
yes, there is.
And the people in the area want to support that stadium, they're going to come together. They're going to figure out a way to do that fundraising.
Exactly. And I think that all stadiums should be done that way. However, there's too much money involved. It'll never happen.
No doubt. Well, I mean, yeah, it takes more effort.
So is there no owner for the Green Bay Packers? I mean, when the NFL owners get together and they vote on rules for things, who represents the Packers?
I believe it's the president of the Packers and the general managers.
She said it was a public company, Mark, so that would mean it would have a board of directors.
Yeah, makes sense.
The people themselves own the team.
Yeah, interesting.
The team cannot leave Green Bay. So that's it, period.
Thank you, Kathy, for sharing that with us. Anything else you want to get out there tonight?
No, it's just I'm kind of politically, I'm a little right of you guys, but I like listening to you. I think you're a hoot.
All right, good. We're glad you're out there, and thanks for sharing your time.
Before she goes, I'm looking at something here. Kathy, I haven't spent any time reading this. I just want to be clear. I just did a little bit of quick Googling, and from Quora.com, a breakdown of funding information here about stations. Lambeau Field, Green Bay Packers, built in 2003. The project costs $295 million, I presume, is what that in millions is.
Big
what
difference.
That is. Yep. And private funding was about half of that, 43%. And then it says here public funding was 57% of it, 169.1%. Now, I don't know what that means, but they're on a big list with a bunch of other, football companies. And
so maybe things aren't as they seem. Kathy, do you have anything to say to that?
No, I possibly I am wrong. I have often been in my life. It's been pointed out to me a number of times. So
maybe it used to be that way. Maybe when the Packers started, it was the way you described it, or maybe that's just an urban myth. Or
no, it wasn't an urban myth. It was local money. It was just a bunch of guys that got together and played on their time off. That's why they were called the Packers. It was local companies, and it was local sponsorship and support that paid for it. And I do know that they do have publicly owned stock.
Okay.
So
I'm going to keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, she's right about that, Mark.
Yeah,
here at the Wikipedia article on the Green Bay Packers Board of Directors, that's the organization that serves as the owner of record for the Green Bay Packers. They have been a publicly owned nonprofit corporation since August 18th of 1923. The corporation currently has...
I like that organizational model better than I like this other stuff. I can tell you that.
It currently has 360,760 stockholders who own collectively over 5 million shares of stock. After the last stock sale in 2012, there have been 5 of those stock sales, 1923, 1935, 1950, 1997, and 2011. And shares in 1923 sold for $5 apiece, while in 2011 they sold for $250 each. The NFL does not allow for corporate ownership. Instead, it requires clubs to be wholly owned either by a single owner or a small group of owners, and requires that at least one owner owns at least a third of a stake in the team. The Packers are granted an exemption to this rule, as they have been a publicly owned corporation since before the rule was put into place.
Right, before there was an NFL, they were publicly owned.
So there's some more information about that. Kathy, once again, thank you for calling tonight.
Thank you.
I appreciate the information.
Thanks, guys.
Very enlightening on the subject.
So looking at this list here, it's interesting. The MetLife Stadium, that's where the Giants and the Jets, that's 2 different teams, Ian, they play, is says it's 100% private funding, and it appears to be the most expensive of the stadiums that I see on the list. So in that case, and then we're just talking about stadiums here. We're not talking about other subsidies or whatever. That's New York City, so I suspect there's all kinds of double dealing going around. Not exactly, to my mind, the most above board. But I see here on the list, Raymond James Stadium, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 0% private funding. So the only one that is 100% private is New York City.
Wow.
And the only one that is no private money is our hometown.
Amazing. All right. So the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. There is definitely a lot of information. Obviously sports fans are very well researched, a lot of them, and so Lambeau Field, there's a whole article about that over on Wikipedia, and it does talk about funding. I just haven't had a chance to really look through here. See here, according to this article, in 2013, the Packers announced a $140.5 million renovation project for the entrance of the Lambeau Atrium, which will be entirely paid by the Packers without public funding. So, how many other times that has happened? Let's see. Corporate naming rights. On November 7th, the year 2000, 2 months after Brown County voters approved a sales tax to fund Lambeau Field's referendum, a different referendum was presented to the same voters, and that asked whether naming rights to the renovated stadium should be sold in order to retire the earlier sales tax created to cover construction costs. So it does sound like they've had some dealings with the government. So it's not a completely publicly or unpublicly funded situation there in Green Bay. But nonetheless, an interesting story.
Yeah.
So if you want to join us here, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. But also interesting that particular business model is now prohibited by the NFL. So anybody else that wanted to do the same thing, have a publicly funded corporation or publicly owned, a stocks, basically, they're not allowed to. So they're the only football team in the NFL that got grandfathered in with that particular structure.
Right.
So it's a great idea, but the NFL has said nobody else can do that. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. You can join us here on Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite.
Dinovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, The best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live Sunday edition of the program. You may join us on the radio and bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number here is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well, so Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. We also have our Discord on-air call-in line where you can call us through the Discord over at discord.lrn.fm. And speaking of the Discord, if you haven't gotten involved over there, our own Rich Paul just signed up and hopped into the chat room. So you get to talk to Free Talk Live hosts. You get to talk to many Free Talk Live listeners who, well, actually, Rich was on within the last few weeks. He's moved back to New Hampshire. I don't know if you were aware of that.
No.
Yeah, he's back, and he's doing much better.
It's nationwide?
He drove here from Michigan.
Excellent.
Without any plates on his car, which was awesome.
Well,
so
I liked all the story up until that point.
Why?
Because it sounds like lunacy is what this sounds
like.
He
made it. Anyway, you can go and get interactive on the Discord over at discord.lrn.fm. It allows you to interact with other Free Talk Live listeners, many of whom you'll recognize. They are some of them are regular callers or irregular callers to the program. You know, people like Venkman or Libertarian Banker, some of the names that you might recognize from on air recently. They're there sometimes over at discord.lrn.fm. There are apps that you can download, or you can just use their web interface, and you don't have to download anything. So Ian, Johnny, Ray, and Mark in the studio here sharing a story from the Foundation for Economic Education with just a few more thoughts on the idea of government-funded or taxpayer-funded stadiums. The hundreds of millions of dollars per stadium, the billions of dollars in total over a number of years that have accumulated to these corporate interests, corporate owners, individuals who are very, very wealthy people on their own, and they certainly don't need the help, but yet they have the weight to throw around, and they can, of course, claim they will pull out of an area if they don't get what they want, and so they tend to get it. But as the article points out, while it may be hard to remember a time when subsidies were not the norm, in the early days of professional sports, the overwhelming majority of stadiums were privately financed. As a study by John Siegfried and Andrew Zimbalist in the Journal of Economic Perspective shows, with the exception of 4 stadiums built with the intention of luring in the Olympics, quote, all major league facilities were constructed exclusively with private funds until 1953, unquote.
Okay.
Even today, when most stadiums elicit tens or hundreds of millions in public assistance, policymakers have another option. Washington football team owner Dan Snyder has been making noise about wanting a new stadium in the next few years, likely hoping to generate competing incentive packages from state and local governments hoping to host the team. Sort of like how the states will offer discounts to Walmart on property taxes or whatever, or a city will offer them a break in order to get them to locate on their side of the city line instead of on the other side of the city line.
Yeah, and I mean, the politicians love sports teams as much as anybody because it allows them to sort of get out in front of the parade and say, hey, we brought this to you. Maybe they'll get out there. They'll be able to toss the ball. They'll be able to, give a little speech beforehand. Just want to thank everybody for this wonderful stadium. And we at the City Hall have provided this to you. And, we're great because we did it. And thank you. Everybody have a great game. That kind of
to
thing.
all the people who've paid for tickets, and he goes and saunters back into his plush.
He paid too. He paid property taxes.
Not if he doesn't live in the city.
In many cases, they do, but yeah.
A lot of the bureaucrats here in Keene don't live in Keene. Just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, lawmakers across the political spectrum have recently introduced bills in Virginia, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. that would prohibit the use of taxpayer money to subsidize any stadium or other facilities used by a professional sports team. If passed, these bills would allow the localities to compete on grounds other than the place that can cobble together the most generous incentive package. Virginia Republican Del Michael Webert.
That doesn't work, though, in that just because one state says that you can't do it, that's not going to change anything.
Oh, but it's a start, and I mean, good for that state for doing that.
Well, all you're going to do is drive out all the sports teams out of the towns.
I guess they're willing to do that. In order to make a principled stand on this matter.
It's not a principled stand. These people aren't principled to save their lives.
Well, no, I'm just saying that saying no to tax dollars on this issue is some level of principle on that issue.
A principle,
yes.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that the difficulty here is that the market has spoken that these, that the cities are willing to give because of the perversions of the state, perversions of taxes, those kinds of things, that cities are willing to give money for.
Sure. They didn't
sports
earn it.
teams to be there. If the state comes in and says, well, no, you're not going to do that, all you've done is drive every sports team out of that state. Now, is that good or bad? You've got to I don't know, ask Las Vegas, or I guess we've decided Las Vegas does now have a sports team. But, I mean, I've got a list here. Louisville, Kentucky doesn't have one. Richmond, Virginia. But that's the Redskins, or I'm sorry, the Washington football team. Hartford, Connecticut, but they're pretty close to New York City. Birmingham, Alabama. They like college football down
Why are
there.
we listing these cities? I'm sorry. Just because they don't have a sports team?
These are the cities, the largest cities in America that
Okay.
do not have sports teams.
Gotcha.
Rochester, New York. It's not even that big of a city.
No.
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
We're getting pretty small here.
Yeah, it's not that big. Riverside, San Bernardino is the largest.
Yeah.
But
That's basically LA.
Is LA.
Virginia Republican Del Michael Webert explains that although he's a diehard fan, he doesn't think taxpayers should pay for the stadium, and pointed to streamlined business regulations as one potential avenue for competition. Amidst the excitement in the run-up to the Super Bowl, don't lose sight of how much the public is paying. Minnesotans are paying hundreds of millions in public subsidies for U.S. Bank Stadium and the related privilege of hosting the Patriots and Eagles in this year's Super Bowl. In general, stadium subsidies fail to generate any meaningful return for the local economy, and policymakers should consider following the lead of Virginia, Maryland, and D.C. and prohibiting the use of public money to help build them. Now, let's be clear, they haven't yet prohibited them. Those are bills that have been put forward in those places. That doesn't mean those bills will pass.
They probably won't. I would think that a Super Bowl would provide a lot of revenue for surrounding, because everybody comes in from out of town.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you find somebody, oh yeah, just around the corner. Everybody's coming in from out of town
because they paid thousands of dollars for the tickets.
Right.
I mean, these are not poor people going to the Super Bowl.
Last I heard, they're $3,000 a ticket.
That's for the nosebleed seats.
And it's probably 10 now. Yeah. I have no idea.
Now isn't the claim that there's some big NFL boycott and they're trying to hurt the Super Bowl or whatever? Isn't that the claim over the whole flag thing?
Yeah.
I've heard, kneeling?
NFL viewing is down, but that doesn't mean that Super Bowl tickets are going to necessarily be down. I don't know that ticket purchasing
Our
is
ticket
down.
prices higher this year for the Super Bowl, or are they lower than they were before?
I can't answer that. Yeah, I don't know.
If you're out there and you know the answer, you're welcome to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. So basically, they're pointing out, and they do link to some of the article or some of the studies that they talk about, where they point out that there isn't any noticeable increase in business, and there's no noticeable.
Is it for the Super Bowl though?
I don't know. It'd be hard to study that, wouldn't it? Because you don't really have.
There's got to be an increase of.
Yeah, sure. For a moment, there's going to be an increase in
hotel
business.
rooms across the city are close to sold out.
But that's true of any convention where you get thousands of people that come to the.
These things hold 60,000 people.
The stadiums, you mean?
Yeah.
There are conventions that have 50 to 100,000 attendees.
And then there are people. I would imagine that there's probably just as many people that travel to town for the Super Bowl that aren't buying tickets. Aren't even going to see the game.
Just going to sell stuff to people.
Right.
Whatever.
I would think vendors and, just hangers on and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think anybody could deny that's the case, Mark, but I mean, that's not the argument that anybody is going to make behind getting a stadium is that, at some point we'll have a Super Bowl here.
You would be an insane person to build a stadium for the hope that you might once every 10 years host a Super Bowl.
If that, right?
So Tampa's had a disproportionate amount of them.
Have they?
Because
it's warm.
It's warm, right? Tampa, Miami, New Orleans.
Right.
I know that they do the Pro Bowl out in Hawaii. That's got to be pretty nice.
So if you want to join us, you can. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about tonight here, including the very first private police force in Great Britain, where, according to The Sun, they've got a 100% conviction rate. Also, we still have to talk more about savings and economics in one lesson, the book that we've spent more than a year trudging through chapter by chapter. And it's not a particularly long book, but
neither are the chapters.
We're not particularly good at getting them done on a decent amount of time. So that hopefully will come up tonight as well. And of course, you're welcome to join the program, the live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live here. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. And all of this as Bitcoin taking a major tumble down to around $8,000 US per Bitcoin. Is it at its new floor, or is it going to continue
6,000 is
to
the
fall?
end.
You're saying 6,000. Mark, what do you think? How far is it going to go?
It's on its way back up now.
It's Free Talk Live. More on the way.
Bitcoin is losing crypto market share to other digital currencies. Bitcoin's astronomical rise has led to the creation of numerous competitors like Ethereum, Ripple, and Litecoin, which have also seen massive gains in value. According to Quartz, Bitcoin made up 85% of the crypto market 1 year ago, and today it has fallen to 36%. Remember, the only way to win in the casino is to take chips off the table. Call Miles Franklin at 866-485-4346 and let us show you how to quickly turn your Bitcoin into the 5,000-year-old safety of precious metals. Miles Franklin can quickly convert your Bitcoin to precious metals with one phone call at 866-485-4346. That's Miles Franklin celebrating our 29th year in business without ever receiving a customer complaint. Call us at 866-485-4346. Fast, easy, safe, and convert your Bitcoin into gold with one phone call.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, February 4th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.58 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,331 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $37, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,833. Antiwar.com reports the future of the Saudi-led invasion of Yemen was already in doubt in recent months, with advances having gone poorly and less territory trading hands. Fighting over the past week in South Yemen's capital of Aden has made it far less certain. The Saudi-backed Hadi government not only saw a change of fortune in its de facto capital, but was downright routed earlier in the week in a matter of days by United Arab Emirates-backed secessionist forces. The Saudis have tried to calm the situation in treating the secessionists to back Hadi. The fighting has stopped for now, but the situation is still uncertain, and that leaves the chances of the Saudis pushing Hadi forces into further offensives anytime soon quite unlikely. The secessionists, after all, just want to establish South Yemen as an independent nation with Aden as its capital. That territory has already been liberated by the Saudi invasion, and they may want to avoid a violent Saudi crackdown on themselves, but probably aren't on board for committing their forces to fighting for North Yemen. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Indiana received federal approval to require some low-income residents to work, study, or perform public service to qualify for Medicaid. On Friday, the Department of Health and Human Services Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services approved the Healthy Indiana Plan. 3 weeks ago, Kentucky became the first state to be approved to install a work requirement. Other states are interested in similar plans. 3 years ago, the Obama administration rejected the state's attempt to impose work requirements. Last summer, the state submitted a plan known as Healthy Indiana Plan 2.0. That plan would require some 130,000 state residents on Medicaid who aren't already in compliance to work, enroll in school, undergo job training, or volunteer for at least 20 hours a week over 8 months each year. Some of those residents, though, may be exempt from the requirements. Those exempt include people who are pregnant, some caregivers, the frail, students, people at least 60 years old, and those being treated for substance abuse problems. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports U.S. House Speaker Paul Ryan deleted a tweet on Saturday cheering a $1.50 increase to a Pennsylvania school teacher's weekly pay because of a $1.5 trillion tax cut after it drew criticism that he was out of touch with ordinary Americans. Ryan's tweet had linked to an Associated Press article on Americans reaping the benefits of the tax cuts. The story cited an example, Julia Ketchum, a secretary at a public school in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, who said she was pleasantly surprised her pay went up $1.50 a week. Ryan tweeted, a secretary at a public high school in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, said she was pleasantly surprised her pay went up $1.50 a week. She said that will more than cover her Costco membership for the year. Ryan's office was not immediately available to comment over the weekend. The Trump administration and Republicans have cast the massive tax cuts, which came into effect in January, as creating jobs and boosting economic growth. But critics have argued that they benefited the rich and would blow up the national debt. Some social media users accused Ryan of being out of touch with California Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, posting on Twitter, "Guess someone told Paul Ryan you shouldn't go around praising yourself for giving a working person an extra $1.50 a week because he deleted the tweet." House Democrat leader Nancy Pelosi also criticized Ryan's tweet, tweeting herself, "Paul Ryan deleted this embarrassing tweet of a blatant admission because he and the Republicans don't want you to know the truth. The hashtag GOP tax scam is a gift to corporate America and the top 1% at your expense." This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Hamburglar urges a Senate subcommittee to rubble. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Hamburger advocate and convicted felon Hamburglar denounced a prison system he called rubble as he testified before the Senate subcommittee on penal reform. Hamburglar, convicted in 1998 of breaking and entering a McDonald's hamburger franchise in South Beloit, Wisconsin, and currently serving a sentence of 3 to 5 years, made this impassioned plea before being interrupted by U.S. Senator Bob Smith of Rhode Island.
Certainly there is room for improvement in our prison system, but I would hardly call the current situation rubble.
After delivering his message to the subcommittee, Hamburglar was promptly placed in chains and returned to prison to serve out the remainder of his sentence in solitary confinement. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and it's the live Sunday edition of the program. Whether you want to talk about the ridiculous stadium subsidies out there, that's how we spent a good chunk of the first hour of the show, you're still welcome to comment there. The toll-free numbers are always open for you, and as always, you can take control of the airwaves and bring up whatever is on your mind. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733, and we have Skype, so you can Skype in and talk to us that way at Skype username lrn.fm. And you can call on our Discord. The Discord on-air call-in line is open and available to you. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. It's Ian, Johnny, Ray, and Mark in the studio. We're going to go back to your phone calls. But I do want to welcome our newest affiliate to Sunday nights, another new former affiliate of Free Talk Live. KLID AM 1340 in Poplar Bluff, Missouri is back on with Free Talk Live. And if you are listening in Poplar Bluff and you're mad about that, then please call us up. We would love to hear from you. And if you've got a problem with the things that are being said on the air here on Free Talk Live.
Did we get kicked off for our opinions the last time?
Yes, we have.
That's so rare.
We've lost KLID in the past.
We've certainly lost stations over our opinions, but mostly it's because schedule changes and
usually,
corporate cram downs, which
or the
means
flip formats from talk to music,
that kind
or
of thing.
Sports.
But the ones that were lost because of opinion always stick out in your mind.
Yeah.
I guess the way I feel about that as a talk show host is on one hand, I understand that people may not always want to call into a show.
Yep, sure.
But, I mean, here we have an arena of ideas. And by arena, this isn't my term. I didn't make it up. But by arena, that's where people fought with swords to kill each other, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
not a friendly place.
This is rather than the assassination while I'm sitting in my cell waiting for the next show to come on as one of the gladiators in the pit.
Yeah.
Right. That's what you when you go to the boss. And you get me kicked off for my opinion. You've basically poisoned my gruel
rather than
coming out, getting a short sword and a buckler and taking me on with your ideas.
Yeah, that's an interesting analogy.
If you don't like my ideas, I don't want to have bad ideas.
A metaphor.
What's that, metaphor?
Metaphor?
I think it's a metaphor, yeah. Using like or as. It's like... Yeah.
No, it's a simile, if it's like or as.
Oh, God. Look it up while I'm continuing to...
No, I don't have to look it up. A simile is using like or as.
So metaphor is a simile. A simile is a metaphor we're using like or as, basically?
I'm sure some would quibble with that definition, but you could say that.
Yeah. Well, I can end it all by just saying you're using a syllogism, and
I don't remember what that one is.
I don't either, but I know.
I guess a metaphor would be like Doc Holliday telling who was it in Tombstone?
Bill Paxton's character? I don't know. I don't remember.
The bad
guy? The good guy.
The good guy.
Val Kilmer was Doc Holliday, right?
Yeah, Val Kilmer was Doc Holliday, and Kurt Russell was...
I can't remember.
Badass. I don't know.
I can't remember. Yeah.
I love Kurt Russell.
Wyatt Earp. You're very good.
He said you are an oak. He didn't say you are like an oak.
He just said you are an oak.
That would be the metaphor, right? Okay, so let's go on, though, with your calls and thoughts, and you can bring up what you want. It's Matthew in Louisiana watching us online. Hello?
Hey, how are y'all doing?
Hey, good. You're on the air, Matthew. Go ahead.
Great. First, let me give a compliment. Excellent show as usual. Johnny Ray, you have an excellent radio voice.
He does.
And he's handsome too.
Those are the only two things that I have.
Well, I've noticed Mark has started growing this chin fuzz thing. He's starting to look like a New Bedford whaling captain.
I often toy around with this little piece of fuzz at the bottom of my chin, and the
part of it is longer than the rest of it right now. The parts on the side of the chin appear to be lengthier than those in the center of the chin.
I've shaped it from the underside, so yes, it has the appearance of giving my jaw my chin more girth. But really,
I just thought it had the appearance of you not shaving correctly.
You would think that.
Okay.
The reason I do it is I can't have hair around my mouth, otherwise it drives me bananas. And it's
tough to eat ice cream.
I can't grow hair on the sides of my face. Those that can grow mutton chops, you people disgust me because I just can't do it. So the only thing I really can do is grow this or a neck beard on up, basically.
Also, the creamy.
Wearing a beard in my line of work is contraindicated because deal with a lot of fumes and stuff. So we have to occasionally don the upper respirator. But y'all were talking about stadium subsidies, and it just flashed me back to 2005 when we were hammered flat by Hurricane Katrina. It was awful.
Where are you calling from?
Metairie, Louisiana, right outside of New Orleans. New Orleans is like the city next to Jefferson Parish, and Metairie is like this large, unincorporated. I would say that we're sort of liberty-minded, but it's kind of hard to put your finger on how the people of Metairie think on any given time, because as many people in Metairie as there are, there's that many opinions.
Yeah, sure.
We just don't like the way things went in New Orleans. But we were nonetheless, the whole region was hammered flat. And one of the things everybody was all up in arms about was Tom Benson going to move the Saints to San Antonio? And everybody's, the Superdome was in bad shape, in really rough shape.
They'd been used as a fallout shelter.
Well, it was used as a shelter of last resort. And too many people took that to mean that, hey, in the event that the power goes out and I've got no place else to go, why don't I drive to the Superdome to just kind of hang out until the storm, the worst effects of the storm have passed? Well, nobody anticipated the canal walls breaching the way they did, and the giant catastrophe that ensued. So it was badly damaged, and nobody was going to play any football in there for quite a while. And everybody was like, oh, no, the Saints are leaving us. And I remember radio shows did probably more to restore the city than anybody else, and that was a restaurant show by the name of Tom Fitzmaurice. And his thing was, well, who cares if the Saints leave? And I was kind of with him there because I had gotten tired of the NFL sticking a gun to my ribs, periodically and saying, we want more money from the state or else. And we'd already just given them, through Mike Foster, this deal where we were going to increase the hotel-motel tax in New Orleans and the surrounding region, including Metairie, to pay for renovations to the Dome. They could use the Dome rent-free, which has been the deal since the Dome was built. It's a beautiful building, by the way. And all this other happy claptrap and stuff, and now we were having to rework that deal, and Bobby Jindal worked out a deal where he basically, in fee simple, gave Tom Benson a high-rise that he could in turn lease back to the state for state office buildings safe offices at greatly inflated prices.
Wow.
We were still paying for it, but it wasn't quite as painful. So they rebuilt the dome, and the Saints came back, and for a while there, I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe the morale thing, that might be an argument I could go for. And then the Saints got political.
What happened?
Yeah, what was the politics? I don't remember. All I can remember is the Saints have this cool Fleur de Lis or whatever, however one pronounces that word, on the side of their helmet, and people like to sing when they come in. Hold on.
More on that here in moments. If you can stand by, Matthew, we're going to bring you back to answer that.
I can totally stand by.
All right, more with Matthew in Louisiana. And you can join us. The toll-free number is 855-450 free like freedom. He's watching our YouTube feed, but we also have a HD version of the show available to you on Twitch at twitch.lrn.fm. So you might want to check that out too. This is Free Talk Live. More coming up. Live Sunday edition continues.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out Dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown, but these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the crown. Not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You can dial in here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. And we've got Skype. Our Skype username is lrn.fm. We've also got Discord. Discord.lrn.fm gets you in there. And you can call us through the Discord on-air call-in line chat room as well. In the studio here tonight, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Mark.
Cryptocurrency is hot right now, although the prices are, well, not what they were a month ago. They've come down quite a bit, not just Bitcoin, but pretty much across the board. It seems like a lot of the alternatives to Bitcoin tend to follow the Bitcoin price trends. And so when Bitcoin turns in a big downward way, most of the rest of them seem to as well. But there's still some really great technology out there. And, of course, a lot of us who've been in the world of cryptocurrency for a while know that if you just hold on tight, there's a good chance the prices are going to come back.
So far, they have done that every time.
And it may take a couple years. It may take a couple. You remember after 2013 when the price spiked up all the way back at the time to a record high of $1,100, it then fell over the next, I think, 6 months down to as low as $200.
You didn't see the collapse of the largest and basically only exchange, not only, but
that's what happened at that time is what you meant?
The masthead exchange through Mt. Gox.
You're saying you didn't see that this time.
Right.
Yeah. Although the price drop so far has been pretty substantial on this particular crash, having gone up as high as almost $20,000 to now down as low as below $8,000.
Plenty of times that's happened in the history of Bitcoin.
So you want to look at alternatives to Bitcoin? Check out Zencash. It was founded in 2017 by liberty-loving voluntarists who actually wrote that into their white paper at zencash.com. They've created a platform that's secure for money and messages that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world, and they're using some of the best technology like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations to allow you to use a better currency. Zencash.com. It is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Once again, you can learn more over at zencash.com. As we go back to Matthew, he's in Louisiana. You were telling us about what had happened there in the New Orleans area where there was talk about getting rid of the New Orleans Saints because they wanted a big handout.
Rather letting them go to San Antonio. And you know, I'm ambivalent on football. Especially the NFL. I prefer the NFL, which I used to play in when I was in at St. Pius X grade school.
The what FL?
That was a great game. NFL, Murder Football League.
MFL.
You start off with 40 kids on both sides, and you play until you get hurt badly enough to sit on the sidelines and watch until it dwindles down to one-on-one football.
That doesn't sound like a officially sanctioned event for the playground.
It sounds like a bad idea generally, but it's all right.
It's not an officially sanctioned event, but it's a heck of a lot more fun to play.
All right, very good.
And it's kind of fun to watch, too, watching old Kevin Kelly and Fernando Figueroa go at it one-on-one. You know, you hike the ball to yourself. That's funny.
Yeah, that's because you don't have enough people playing to do otherwise.
So,
what was the rest of the story you were going to tell us?
I was never a huge football fan, like I was saying, but I was kind of ambivalent on this new deal. Okay, and then let's getting the Saints back, and then after they came back after Katrina, the morale effect on the people here was tremendous, and you just could not believe after the Saints whooped up on Atlanta for that opening game back in the Dome. I knew Saints fans who weighed several hundred pounds who were not even walking on the ground. They were floating.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought, maybe putting up with a public subsidy is worth it. And then just not too long ago, the Saints got political. And the first indication I had that something was screwy was when Sean Payton, the coach of the Saints, decides he needs to involve himself in the gun control debate.
Mm.
And I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, aren't we paying for your salary?
You're at the very least paying for a platform for this man to express himself, right? Because the stadium is publicly funded or partially publicly funded, that gives him an ability to, be an important person. He is the big shot stadium guy or whatever, the owner or whatever his role is.
The coach, the head coach.
Yeah, the coach. And so more people are going to pay attention to him because of that. So effectively, your tax dollars are giving him the ability to propagate his ideas, whether you agree with them or not.
Right, and he's doing it from, it's like when these Hollywood celebrities spout off. They're doing it from a shield, from behind a shield. You can't have a debate with them.
Mm-hmm, sure.
You guys express an opinion I disagree with, I can call up. I can say, hey, you know what? I don't think you thought about this.
Right.
But what about this? But these guys, they do it from behind a shield. And it's like the same as Antifa, whapping somebody over the head with a bicycle lock and then ducking back into the crowd. It's not like you can defend yourself against that. You can't really have a talk with them.
Well,
They just want to whack you over the head with a bicycle lock.
What I hear from the Hollywood folks is that you're allowed to have an opinion as long as it's the proper opinion. Best I can tell, if you aren't, that there are very few people on the right that are allowed to have an opinion in Hollywood. You'll just not hear from them because they won't say anything. There's a few that have been able to sort of dodge things. Tom Selleck's a pretty good example.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood,
Yeah.
Drew Carey. But they would. I mean, they were merciless on Clint Eastwood at the most recent, or not the most recent, the last Republican convention where he did that shtick where he's, I don't know, an actor acting like he's talking to somebody who's not there, which is what the job is. I mean, if you brought a juggler out, you wouldn't expect him to do anything but juggling. So an actor came out, he did some acting. I don't understand. I have no clue why they went after him. And I don't agree with Clint Eastwood on everything by any stretch of the imagination. No. But this idea of besmirching somebody for these paper-thin reasons really bothers me.
Yeah, I find that the lack of the willingness to debate really is the scariest thing going on currently. But then back to the issue of what's happening here, I started to look around and seeing all these other things that seemed like good ideas that the state was subsidizing. Did you know the state of Louisiana subsidizes college education?
I wouldn't
Most
doubt
of them
it.
do.
Yeah, I would think that all the state schools are subsidized to some extent or another, and I would presume that.
No, they actually through a program that when it first started was privately funded and was a great idea at the time, called the TOPS program. That was funded by a local oil man by the name of Patrick Taylor, and TOPS was restricted to the very best scholars from public and parochial schools in the state. But then Mike Foster thought, hey, I've got a brilliant idea. Why don't I fold this into the state budget and we'll expand
it for more free education.
No way to destroy a perfectly good program without government money. That's
Matthew,
for sure.
thank you for the call tonight, man. I do appreciate hearing from you. Of course, we know what happens when the state gets a hold of things. It tends to ruin everything it touches. We're coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Hawaii was a wake-up call. Don't be caught without a disaster shelter. Atlas makes an all-disaster shelter that will protect your family from fallout, tornadoes, and hurricanes for only $99.99. That also includes the NBC air filtration system, solid steel construction with an airtight, bulletproof door. That's right, for $99.99 and up. Call 1-855-4BUNKER or go to iwantthatshelter.com. Atlas Survival Shelters, the world leader in fallout shelters.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at SurvivorMax.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free. Bring up what you want. The live Sunday edition of the program here. Of course, you can take control of the airwaves. That's the point of Free Talk Live. Joining you in the studio here tonight, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Mark.
We have been discussing the stadium subsidy problem, and of course, you're certainly still welcome to comment on that. Also, we can get into the tumbling price of the Bitcoin, Britain's first private eye police force, with a supposed 100% conviction rate. There's all kinds of interesting things in the news to discuss. And also want to let you know about the Blink home security system. You can get yours delivered to your door. It is super easy to do. It's super easy to set up. The cameras are all wireless. So as soon as you unbox, you put batteries in the cameras. The batteries are included. And
yeah, they give you the batteries.
Yep, and you just pop the cameras up wherever you want them, and then you connect it all together with the hub that they have that you connect to via your Wi-Fi enabled device like a tablet or a smartphone.
I actually had a friend of the family today whose husband listens to the show. I think he turned her on to the idea of Blink and that we use it at our home. She texted me for a review of Blink, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it's great, and gave her the coupon code FTL, and there you go.
Yeah, the coupon code doesn't get you a discount, but it does let them know that we sent you to them. So
I think that it does get you a 10% discount. I keep getting told that.
Okay, well, every time we've tested it, it hadn't. You haven't told me recently that has changed. So if you can verify that, that'd be great. We're not going to make that claim. You just go and you try the code. It's easy. blinkprotect.com/FTL. The way that Mark, our listeners, found out that wasn't the case initially, because we had thought that it was initially.
Everybody was having that problem.
They just checked going to the Blink Protect without the /FTL to see if it was the same price, and it was the same price. So it's not a discount code that we can tell, or at least as of the last check. It was just a code to give us credit for sending them the business. So blinkprotect.com/FTL is where you can go and get yours. Let's go to, and if you find out differently, Mark, you can let me know. Meanwhile, it's Josh in Des Moines. Josh, you're on Free Talk Live. Hello.
Hey, I was just listening to a podcast. You guys were talking about the post office a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they discontinued my local programming for you guys, and they put on a old school hip hop, whatever that's about.
Oh, yeah, you used to get us on the FM talk station in town there when we were on that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then I also have to say, listening to you guys live, I normally listen on podcasts at like 1.9. You guys all sound stoned. Just really funny about that.
1.9 is really fast.
That means almost twice as fast as we would normally speak. Yep.
Right. And I knew you guys weren't, because listening to Mark all these years, he's not about that, where I was just like, he's super stoned. No, he's live. To touch on that Blink security system you guys were talking about, I was actually just had a baby a couple of weeks ago and was looking up for a baby monitor.
Mm-hmm.
Found out that the Blink security system is actually cheaper than a baby monitor.
Wow.
Because I was just going to get one of those like single units to look at that, and so yeah, that's a benefit if anybody else is looking for that.
Yeah,
but the reason I was calling was because my father is retired military and my mother's union, and I consider myself a voluntarist.
Okay.
Well, because we had a baby, my mom's like, well, you need to go sign up for the WIC program so you can get all this free stuff. And I'm like, that's not free stuff. It's money extorted from everybody. You know, when my son was born, he already went in $1.6 million in debt as an American citizen. But the whole thing that I was looking up, I looked up with my city, my state, my county government, and the federal government, added everything up, being completely legal, because I don't have a piece of government paperwork that says that I'm with my wife. Looking at this all information, not trying to game the system or anything. I'm not doing anything with like this stuff, but just looking up everything I would be eligible for, because I'm not a citizen. I'm a felon. And so with all of that stuff, they're talking about basically my wife would take about $5,000 hit because child support would be taken out of her paycheck. And then that's annually. The government would give me $58,868 a year to stay at home with my son.
And your wife would lose $5,000.
Absolutely. Excuse me?
You said your wife would lose $5,000. How exactly?
Oh, because they would charge her for child support because we're not legally married.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a thing where you have to pay child support even if you're
basically.
I don't know a lot about like kids and tax rules or whatever. So if you're not actually married to the person that you had a baby with, you have to pay them child support even if you're living together?
Maybe you do if you want to
this
get
would be
WIC.
based on the fact that I don't work and I would be asking the government for some money, so that would be they would be looking to the first person they could take money from.
Oh,
so they
I
would
see.
take child support from.
So you're saying over and above the $5,000 though, it's like $58,000 is what you would get.
Yeah, almost $59,000 a year is what me, as a college graduate, student debt, all that stuff, with a felony, would be able to qualify for it. Because just as a felon who had my felony before I went and got my student debt, it qualifies for some stupid government program that Obama put in, where you basically get like $20,000 a year, and you're required to put in, I think the minimum payment was like $100 a month. So they would, like, with all of that,
is that for school?
As the money
So
that would come into my coffers.
Hold on. So convicts go to school more cheaply than other people? Is that what ex-convicts, excuse me?
No. You had to get your felony first, and then you graduated from college. And then the government will give you like $21,000 some dollars a year to help pay your student loans back. But you only have to use $100 a month of that to actually pay on the loan.
I got to go I'm going to school.
So the only reason why you won't take that is because you're a principled person and you don't believe in it. But you can't blame somebody for wanting to take $58,000. I mean, can't blame anybody for that.
Well, I can blame everybody who's willing to use the threat of the government in order to steal money from me and my
they
family.
Don't see it that way. You could justify it as, well, they already paid into the system, and so therefore they're just getting their money back.
$58,000 a year until my kids graduate.
Oh, it's $58,000 a year?
Being legal.
Oh my God. Okay, that's a lot. Probably
I'm
most
talking
people
for
pay that much
18
in.
years, basically.
Jeez. Wow, that's amazing.
Well, I guess
that's just craziness to me. I'm like, how can you seriously talk about this? Because with the family and such, we had a get together a week or two ago, and they were like I said, my dad's ex-military, so he's all about the government and such. And he's like, well, this is just crazy that the government, wants to bring people over from whatever country it is and then give them money, because he was watching an article about a guy came from a country where he was living on 16 cents a day, and now the government gives him $138 a day to live on. And he's like, I don't even need to get a job. I can just live here on the government.
He could take some of that money and send it back home and feed all kinds of people. Hey, thank you, Josh, for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Appreciate the principled refusal to fall into that tax program, because it must be tempting for a lot of people.
Yeah, I can see why people choose not to get the taxes. I wouldn't. To me, it seems like too much work in an area that I'm just not interested in finding out how to do it.
You mean jumping through the legal hoops?
Yeah, just figuring out government
working
stuff.
The system.
But and Sarah from New Mexico calls on a relatively regular basis.
She'll probably call in about an hour.
She'll describe her activities as work, and
right.
It's work in a scientific sense, right? It moves an object from here to there, or she's burning.
In this case, she may be the object moving from here to there.
She's burning calories, so it's work. But I don't know that I can philosophically say that accepting money from the government is stealing from my neighbor.
Well, let's talk about it. Coming up here in moments. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves here and share your thoughts as well on the radio on Free Talk Live.
Live from the Verticoin studio. This is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium 47 here on LRN.FM. When you hear the faucet, be caller 5 to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Hawaii was a wake-up call. Don't be caught without a disaster shelter. Atlas makes an all-disaster shelter that will protect your family from fallout, tornadoes, and hurricanes for only $99.99. That also includes the NBC air filtration system, solid steel construction with an airtight, bulletproof door. That's right, for $99.99 and up. Call 1-855-4BUNKER or go to iwantthatshelter.com. Atlas Survival Shelters, the world leader in fallout shelters.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll free. You bring up what you want. Take control of the airwaves here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype, and the Skype username here is LRN.FM. Also, we should probably get to economics in one lesson here tonight, since we've been going chapter by chapter through the very classic libertarian-ish book about...
There's no reason not to finish it eventually. And the last
We're going to get through it.
The last chapter is the next one.
Is it really?
I believe so.
All right,
the lesson restated.
We're on the chapter about savings, which we broke into 4 parts, and we're going to do part number 3 coming up here shortly. But first, we go to Ricky. He is... I don't know what that was.
A demo?
Yeah, I don't know if that was Ricky talking to himself.
I think it was.
Ricky?
Absolutely retarded.
Oh, sorry about that. That's not Ricky at all. Hang on, we're gonna bring up Ricky here.
For the Commonwealth.
There he is. There he is.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Hi, Ricky. You're on the radio.
You're my Huckleberry? Okay.
That's right.
It's another callback to Tombstone.
Yes, it is.
Well, yeah, that's right. I'm your Huckleberry. Now, who's that talking trash talk about Ricky from the Commonwealth?
I haven't heard anybody say anything about you tonight, Ricky. I mean, there's certainly people in the Discord chat who've been teasing you because you have not been able to get your Windows phone to work. I mean, you call in and you claim to be a Microsoft expert, But yet, when you've joined the Discord at discord.lrn.fm, you not only have you not gone into the voice chat as you've been invited to do because you claim you can't get the app to work on your Discord phone or your Windows phone, but you won't even chat in the text chat. You're just teasing our listeners.
Well, no, I'm not teasing your listeners. I haven't even been talking about it. That's somebody else because I haven't been anywhere near the Discord for quite a long time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You came in there one night and you said it was you because I asked you about it before. You said that it was you that went in there. And then you just disappeared. You never came back to actually chat to people. So you teased them.
Fans, Ricky.
Yeah, you teased them. That's not nice. It's not nice to tease your fans like that.
Hey, it's not my fault. I mean, they put a hard block on that. Now, I never had any interest in testing Discord back in 15 when I was testing Windows 10. You know, going back into 16 either. You know, so I didn't know the damn thing had a hard block on the damn audio. I mean, I think that's horrible. So,
a hard block? What do you mean by that? Does that mean that Windows phones, you can't use audio to transmit to other programs so people can hear you?
Has nothing to do with the phone because you got to understand, my phone runs Windows 10, but I'm running it on Android hardware.
That's confusing.
You know? I have an Alcatel Idol 4S. It's Android hardware that runs Windows 10 mobile.
So you hacked it or something? You put a Windows install on an Android phone?
No, you can buy it that way. It's unlocked. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a Snapdragon 820 quad.
Well, you've got a lot of statistics there, but apparently it doesn't help you run the Discord app.
Well, the problem's the browser. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, I looked into it. Apparently, this has been an issue since 14. There's no logical issue.
Are you calling us from your Windows phone right now?
Yep, using Skype.
Okay. So Skype works on the Windows phone. That's good because that's a Microsoft product.
Well, the problem is it's the browser. Now, that browser won't work on Xbox. It won't work on PC. Or it won't work on Windows 10.
So what you're saying is Microsoft's own browser doesn't work. That's a really great sales pitch for the Windows phone.
No, you don't understand. It's kind of like this. It's a marketing maneuver. They don't want it to work when Microsoft did. Yeah, it's a marketing maneuver.
Why?
Plain and simple.
Why? Why would they cripple their own browser? I mean,
no, they don't own Discord. Discord is the one that will not allow a voice chat. Period.
Right, you're confusing me because first you said it was the browser. Now you're saying it's Discord. What's the part?
Put a hard block on the ability to use audio chat. I can use the browser.
They wouldn't do that.
There's lots of people in there using audio chat right now.
Yeah, Discord's an audio chat app, Ricky. So I mean, you clearly don't know what you're talking about.
I said, you know what your problem is for Ian? You don't read. I sent you 3 or 4 years.
You're right. I don't ever read anything, almost nothing that you send us on Skype. I don't read it.
I said 4
It's not because I can't read. It's because that I have a limited amount of time, and I'm only going to read the things that are interesting to me.
I'm not interested in Discord because I think it's pathetic, honestly.
So you're just a big tease. You're just teasing our listeners, just so they know they're listening right now, and they're going to be sad.
I can't use the audio.
You're going to make our Discorders cry. You don't want to do that, do you?
It's a pain in the ass to read the I mean, it is. What if they want me to go on there? I'll go on there.
All right, get in there. Discord
fans.
Discord. They're demanding that your presence. Discord.lrn.fm. Ricky, thank you for the call tonight. Let's go to Johnny Ray's hometown, Asheville, North Carolina, where Tony is listening to WWNC. Hello, Tony.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, good. What's on your mind tonight?
What's on my mind is government regulating businesses. I'm in a business where, you have to get state approval in order to operate, and it seems like the people that get the licenses to operate are trying to shut everybody out, and
yes.
It's been a roadblock for me, like most of my life.
What businesses have you tried to get into that you felt like you could not overcome the regulations that have been put in place to block you?
I'm in the moving and transportation business,
Mm-hmm.
and I really do a good job, but it limits me to not do more because I can't go down the road and with different regulations and stuff like that. I have to stay local, and it really limits me. And
right.
I have a really good service to offer, and it seems like the people that have the big businesses don't want you in, and you got to pay all this money to get in, and
It's a club. It's a closed club.
It's a big club,
and it's not a big club. It's a limited club with a very small amount of members. And you're absolutely right. You see this in every industry.
And I'm a tax-paying citizen. I am. I pay my taxes on the income that I claim and stuff, and it's really hard. I mean, I just wonder if there's other people out there that feel the same way.
Absolutely. I mean, anybody who's tried to open up a business and do it through the legal channels has been, in a lot of cases, rebuffed by how difficult that process is. I know that, when I was younger and I was interested in radio, and I wanted to know, well, what does it take to start a station, right? Like, create your own radio station. And the answer is a lot of money and attorneys. The average person cannot reach that level of financing to be able to compete in that business. And that's if there are any available frequencies that the government will allocate. And half the time, or more than half the time, they don't even have a filing window open. So even if you do have the money and have the attorneys, they may not even be accepting applications at that moment.
You can always buy an existing radio station.
If one is for sale in an
It creates a black market, I think, in these businesses. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so there's people that have these proper licenses, and then there's people that don't. And they're, and I don't know. It's really frustrating for me. I wish I could get some help. And all I get is like, no's. It's just hard.
That's their job.
I think the best solution here, and I know this isn't an easy answer, but Tony, thank you for the call tonight. I do appreciate hearing from you. The best solution would be to have people who have a similar mindset, that is, libertarians mostly, who agree that regulations are basically protectionism for the existing business owners. I mean, that's what he was talking about, and that's exactly what it is in every single regulated industry, is the existing business owners getting control of the regulatory authorities, or were there on the ground floor of the formation of it in the very beginning. They were the ones, in a lot of cases, who advocated for the formation of a licensing board or regulatory board of some sort, and then they stack it, of course, with their people or themselves, and ultimately create new rules and prohibitions that make it very difficult for an upstart, a young person, or a new entrant into the field to get in at their level and to compete. And that's, whether it's, as he said, transportation or restaurants, or you fill in the blank. If it's any kind of regulatory structure around that industry, you can better believe that the people who've been in that industry the longest are the ones with the biggest influence over that regulatory structure. Yep. It's just a scam from top to bottom. So what's the best solution? Well, you can try begging politicians to let up, but of course they're owned lock, stock, and barrel in a lot of cases by these very regulatory, influences, campaign contributors, and that sort of thing. So how do you change this? Well, we have a migration of libertarians that are moving to New Hampshire, which is already one of the states with fewer regulatory structures in place. There aren't as many licensed trades in New Hampshire as in some states. I don't think the lowest. I don't think it's the lowest on the totem pole, but it is not the highest either. And what we need to do is literally repeal these regulatory agencies.
Yep.
And
regulatory capture is real. It's an economic, reality. You can take a look. You could read about it. And this is what goes on when you give the government the ability to decide who's going to be in a business and who's not. Turns out the people with money keep out the people who don't.
Absolutely true. The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. We got a full hour to go here on the live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live coming up.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, February 4th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.58 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,331 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $37, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,833. Antiwar.com reports the future of the Saudi-led invasion of Yemen was already in doubt in recent months, with advances having gone poorly and less territory trading hands. Fighting over the past week in South Yemen's capital of Aden has made it far less certain. The Saudi-backed Hadi government not only saw a change of fortune in its de facto capital, but was downright routed earlier in the week in a matter of days by United Arab Emirates-backed secessionist forces. The Saudis have tried to calm the situation in treating the secessionists to back Hadi. The fighting has stopped for now, but the situation is still uncertain, and that leaves the chances of the Saudis pushing Hadi forces into further offensives anytime soon quite unlikely. The secessionists, after all, just want to establish South Yemen as an independent nation with Aden as its capital. That territory has already been liberated by the Saudi invasion, and they may want to avoid a violent Saudi crackdown on themselves, but probably aren't on board for committing their forces to fighting for North Yemen. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Indiana received federal approval to require some low-income residents to work, study, or perform public service to qualify for Medicaid. On Friday, the Department of Health and Human Services Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services approved the Healthy Indiana Plan. 3 weeks ago, Kentucky became the first state to be approved to install a work requirement. Other states are interested in similar plans. 3 years ago, the Obama administration rejected the state's attempt to impose work requirements. Last summer, the state submitted a plan known as Healthy Indiana Plan 2.0. That plan would require some 130,000 state residents on Medicaid who aren't already in compliance to work, enroll in school, undergo job training, or volunteer for at least 20 hours a week over 8 months each year. Some of those residents, though, may be exempt from the requirements. Those exempt include people who are pregnant, some caregivers, the frail, students, people at least 60 years old, and those being treated for substance abuse problems. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports U.S. House Speaker Paul Ryan deleted a tweet on Saturday cheering a $1.50 increase to a Pennsylvania school teacher's weekly pay because of a $1.5 trillion tax cut after it drew criticism that he was out of touch with ordinary Americans. Ryan's tweet had linked to an Associated Press article on Americans reaping the benefits of the tax cuts. The story cited an example, Julia Ketchum, a secretary at a public school in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, who said she was pleasantly surprised her pay went up $1.50 a week. Ryan tweeted, a secretary at a public high school in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, said she was pleasantly surprised her pay went up $1.50 a week. She said that will more than cover her Costco membership for the year. Ryan's office was not immediately available to comment over the weekend. The Trump administration and Republicans have cast the massive tax cuts, which came into effect in January, as creating jobs and boosting economic growth. But critics have argued that they benefited the rich and would blow up the national debt. Some social media users accused Ryan of being out of touch with California Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, posting on Twitter, "Guess someone told Paul Ryan you shouldn't go around praising yourself for giving a working person an extra $1.50 a week because he deleted the tweet." House Democrat leader Nancy Pelosi also criticized Ryan's tweet, tweeting herself, "Paul Ryan deleted this embarrassing tweet of a blatant admission because he and the Republicans don't want you to know the truth. The hashtag GOP tax scam is a gift to corporate America and the top 1% at your expense." This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
The CEO of Dollar Tree unveils the long-rumored foil baking pan. A new donor liver complains about the difficulty of working with Lou Reed. And a local couple keeps their marriage together for the sake of no one. We'll keep this as quick and painless as possible. This is the Onion Week in Review. A study published this week in the Journal of Financial Economics found that 83% of gamblers quit right before they would have hit the big one. Researchers confirmed that roughly 8 out of 10 gamblers who walked away from slot machines, poker games, horse races, roulette, and other games were consistently just a single stake away from winning it all, and unknowingly gave up a lifetime of fortune by quitting prematurely.
Our study proved that subjects who closed an online poker session, walked away from a slot machine, or even gave up gambling altogether would have won millions of dollars in the next bet. Also, people who walk away after hitting it big are missing out on a chance to make more money. I mean, when you're hot, you're hot.
In other news, an Asian guy has a separate group of Asian friends, and a vain Galapagos tortoise tries to pass for 90.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the live Sunday edition of the program. Of course, you can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. We did a lot of talk about stadium subsidies here tonight at the beginning of the show. And just a few months ago, we were discussing the scam that is government regulatory structure and licensing, which is basically just a protection racket for those who are in business. There are some people out there who have a fantasy belief that the government is actually protecting consumers from unscrupulous business owners through its licensing and regulations, when the reality is the government is being used as a tool by those very unscrupulous business owners who would be willing to use the violence of the state to prevent their competition from coming up and starting in the first place. As we've seen with some industries, like the taxi cab companies being sort of disrupted by companies like Uber and Lyft, what happened there was Uber and Lyft didn't come to town asking for permission. The reason why Uber and Lyft made it in the first place was because they didn't go through the typical legal structure. They didn't try to ask for permission to become a cab company in the first place. They said, we're going to do our business differently. We're not a cab company. We're just a connector. We just connect people who want to drive somebody somewhere to people who want to go somewhere. And, you know, like a matchmaking service almost for driving.
When I first heard ride sharing as an idea, I thought, that's a great idea. I could pick up somebody I don't necessarily know on my way to work and drop them off on the way. If we could get some kind of app that would help, would facilitate with that. Yeah. Essentially a carpooling service, if that makes sense. It turns out it's basically a taxi, the new version of a taxi cab company.
But it didn't meet the legal. The way they were arguing it is that it didn't meet the legal definitions of a taxi company because they don't own their own cabs. For instance, they don't have a cab bay where the cabbie can come back and drop it off for an oil change or something like that. Each individual has to handle that for their own cars, and so they're dealing with contractors, not employees. And anyway, the reason why they were able to make such a splash was because they didn't go through the traditional channels. They didn't go and beg for a taxi cab medallion in New York City. They just went and started giving people rides.
And the prices of taxi cab medallions have plummeted.
And as a result of the new competition from Uber and Lyft. And so because they were able to get out there and build their business before the government and the industry really kind of figured out what was going on, they were able to get enough revenue coming in to hire the attorneys they needed to fight off the inevitable oncoming attack by the status quo.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
I think that's one of the better examples, at least in our recent history, as far as businesses that were able to get around the regulatory structure and therefore thrive. Because had they gone to the government and had they said, well, we've got this really great idea for a new business and we really want to present it to you and get your approval and, wine and dine all the politicians and, try to go through whatever the legal channels are, it would have cost them an inordinate amount of money if they were even able to get through in the first place. Because, again, in New York City, you couldn't even get a medallion. You'd have to get one that it was already in existence from somebody who already owned it.
It's interesting, the people that feel that they need the sanction of the government to do something. So
that's what we've been taught.
When you and I moved here, we could very easily have gone to the city of Keene and said, we'd like to participate in a radio network enterprise. And
what forms do we need to fill out?
Right. Is that okay? And then they'd have some things for us to fill out.
Right.
And some money to pay and all kinds of things. Well, you're going to need an occupancy permit, all this stuff.
They come up with it for you. You want some hoops?
They'd love it.
They'll put some hoops up.
But but we didn't. And as a result, they've never bothered us.
Nope, they have not. So anyway, you can comment on all that if you want.
Uber and Lyft would have been denied had they gone down the route you were talking about, whining and dining the players and the politicians, because it's not in the politicians' interest to decentralize the provision of these services. It makes it more difficult for them to extract revenue from it. So they would have taken the whining and dining, and they would have said no.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for the line.
too.
Let's go to Dan. He's in Nebraska. You can bring up what you want. Coming up, economics in one lesson. We'll talk a little bit about savings and interest rates. But Dan, you're on Free Talk Live first. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I guess I just had a quick thought that I was thinking about. You were talking about the stadium subsidies a little bit ago, right?
Yep.
Well, I guess I don't really know how old the article is, but I know that it's relatively new, about how our governor here has been making some sort of case to the Nebraska unicameral or something, or whoever's in charge of picking out where money goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm wording it so weirdly. And what he wants to do is stop making people subsidize abortions by any place that offers them at all, couldn't get the subsidies. And I feel like a lot of these people are hypocrites because they feel upset when they are forced to, by subsidy, pay for an abortion when they're pro-life or pro-choice. Yeah, when they're pro-life. Whereas I will have to continue to pay for people's subsidies for their meat eating, which I have clear moral reservations against. And I feel like, there's really no way that you can be pro-life and again making people pay for subsidies, but then force all vegans and vegetarians to pay for your meat subsidies.
So that you're talking about the meat manufacturers, they're getting government subsidy to exist?
Oh, yes.
That's
Huge.
right. And the people who make the feed that is especially for, like, the corn that is specially made to be cow feed, I also have to pay for that. So I'm paying to subsidize the food and
Are there any organic food subsidies out there too?
Oh, there are, and you know what? I feel like, well, that is more of an argument about subsidies that we could have. Whereas what I'm talking about here is
Subsidies
morale,
for death.
making comparing people, being forced to pay for things they find to be immoral.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
We can talk.
Yeah, I think that you're drawing an apt comparison. Generally when somebody brings up vegan or vegetarianism, I'm pretty much on the defensive right off. But I think that the comparison's about as apt as it can get. And Ian, I'd like to point out how you can know that there's subsidies on meat. What does a pound of chicken cost?
Hell if I know.
You don't know? Okay, let's call it 99 cents on sale.
I buy frozen food.
Okay. Well, I guess you don't make. Fine. You've read a circular before. So anyway, a pound of chicken is about 99 cents. You can buy a pound of vegetables that cost more than 99 cents.
Sure
Thus,
can.
you know that chicken must be subsidized because you know that it takes, I don't know how many pounds of food to make a pound of chicken. Call it 6,
Right.
10, 12, I don't know. And clearly there's some kind of subsidy that's going on.
Yeah, and I think that if you have an objection, you should not be funding something. You should have the ability to withdraw your consent, whether it be the slaughter of animals or the slaughter of humans in the Middle East or wherever it is. Whatever action the government is taking that is harmful towards life, I think is a completely legitimate excuse to say, I don't want to be a part of this. Dan, anything else you want to share tonight? Thanks for the call.
I got some questions.
I
got some questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Dan, is it okay to shoot rats?
Ooh, here's the thing: is my own personal opinion, and so this is only subjective to me. Is that there was probably something I guess I found a little bit. I found that the circumstance of making something grow up in the factory farm, in the small dark box, is my main concern.
Gotcha.
I understand that the slaughterhouse has the water sprayer that kills them first in 0.25 seconds. That's not my concern. My concern is having to get the chicken's beaks cut in half and then live and squalor in a dark metal box. They can barely move or get up. I mean, it's disgusting.
So Mark can shoot the rats on his farm. And
shooting free-range rats is
fun. The
fun.
rats on the farm is a little bit different.
All right, Dan, thanks for the call tonight, man. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Live Sunday edition of the show. You're invited to join us on the radio waves here, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out Dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Core and your Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America. as well as sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, dial on in here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM, or call us on the on-air call-in line chat room on our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. Here tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnny Ray.
And Mark.
Still to come, economics in one lesson. We do still have to talk about a little bit more from the savings chapter. But first, we're going to go back to your calls and thoughts. I do want to let you know about Bitcoin.com. So if you've been thinking about cryptocurrency, you've been seeing the price roller coaster where it's gone up as high as almost $20,000 per Bitcoin, down to right now at around $8,000 per Bitcoin. Of course, you never know when the right time to buy is, but some people would say the right time is always now. Because acquiring some cryptocurrency and having it and holding it for a long time seems like the best strategy. I'm not an investment advisor, but that's what I've been doing. Is I've just been holding on to the cryptocurrency on behalf of the Shire Free Church, which is the organization that runs this program.
The investment advisors, if they were actually if they'd actually the stuff worked, then they wouldn't need to give you advice for money.
Yeah, why? Right. Why aren't they just retired?
Right.
So you go to Bitcoin.com. You want to learn about Bitcoin? That's a great place to go and get started to learn the basics about cryptocurrency. And there's no better time than now to go and learn those basics in case it turns out that this 8,000 is the floor. Is it going to go up from here? Johnny Ray says he thinks it's going down to 6,000 before it starts to go back up again. But the thing is, nobody really knows what's going to happen tomorrow with Bitcoin. It is even though it's been around for 9 years, it's still in the scheme of money a brand new concept. So you got to learn about this because it's an idea. Cryptocurrency is an idea that's not going anywhere. It's going to likely become more and more popular over time, and we may see an overall rise once again as the year rolls on here. We're only through 1 month of 2018 at this point. So again, go to Bitcoin.com to get the basics. If you're not new to Bitcoin, you want to get the latest news headlines, they've got a great news site over there at news.bitcoin.com. In fact, I'm hoping that we're going to have Bitcoin.com's founder, Roger Ver, on the line with us here in the next week or so, because he's promised that I talked to him this weekend, and I was talking to him about Bitcoin Cash and how there's still some confusion out there around Bitcoin Cash and the different types of wallets and which wallets are accepting or that have been modified to accept Bitcoin Cash. And there's like 3 different types of Bitcoin Cash addresses out there, and so which of the wallets accept which different types of addresses? There's confusion out there, and that's why I haven't been out there promoting Bitcoin Cash like I have with Dash to local business owners, because again, we want something that's easy, something that's straightforward. And I think Bitcoin Cash is a good start, but there's some stuff that needs to get cleared up. So he said that sounded like a good idea for an article, and he would talk to his editorial staff about it. So hopefully that'll come to fruition, and we'll see a nice comparison article showing us, all right, well, which wallets are taking Bitcoin Cash, and of those wallets that are taking Bitcoin Cash, which of those wallets are the most compatible? Meaning that do they work with all 3 different address types that have come out? Because the short version of what's happened here is back in August of last year, Bitcoin had its first historic fork. It became 2 competing sets of Bitcoin currencies, one called Bitcoin Cash, the other one we could call Bitcoin Core, sort of the legacy Bitcoin. And as a result of that, you've had an interesting competition in the marketplace. But one of the problems with Bitcoin Cash when it came out was it was completely compatible, and this is a bad thing, with the old address system from Bitcoin Core. So if you were to send Bitcoin Cash to a Bitcoin Core address, the wallets would let you do it. Yep. And that would basically mean that you'd, in most cases, lose the Bitcoin Cash that you sent accidentally to the Bitcoin Core address. There's some ways that you could get it back.
Yeah, you could get it back, but it was a real pain in the butt.
It depends.
You
wouldn't always be able to.
Probably hire somebody. Yeah, like there's all kinds of problems.
So they came up with, some people, 2 different groups of designers came up with solutions to this problem in the form of a new address format for Bitcoin Cash, meaning that when you scan a Bitcoin Cash address, it won't be compatible with the old Bitcoin, meaning that it would solve that problem if the wallets were to adopt these new address structures.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 2 of them that are competing to replace the original. So right now there are 3 different types of Bitcoin Cash addresses. And do you know which ones your wallet accepts?
I don't.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is where there's some confusion in the world of Bitcoin Cash. So once that article comes out, I asked Roger, I said, hey, once that's out, let's have you on. Let's talk about, sort of the state of Bitcoin Cash right now. Because I think it's got a lot of promise for the future, but it's still a new currency. I mean, even though it's got all the history of Bitcoin behind it, it's still new to most people.
I'm going to see Roger in a few days.
So am I.
What do you mean?
He's going to be in Acapulco.
He's going to be in Acapulco, but I'm going to St. Kitts.
Oh, right. And he lives there part of the year, right?
Yeah. He's got a project. He had a project at one point to get people to move to St. Kitts. I think St. Bits is what they were calling it. I'm very interested in this sort of new nation thing they're trying to put together, this Bit Nation idea. And
we had him on to talk about that a while back.
Yeah, I'm curious. So I want to find out more.
You want to learn more about Bitcoin? Go to Bitcoin.com. You want to get the latest news headlines? Go to news.bitcoin.com. As we go to economics in one lesson, Johnny Ray, we have been going slowly through economics in one lesson. It's a book by Henry Hazlitt. It is available free for anyone who would like to read over on Mises Institute and likely elsewhere. You can download a PDF version of the book. In our case here, we've been going chapter by chapter, not reading the entirety of the chapters on the air, but just kind of discussing the concepts, the ideas that are being presented, and a lot of them, are really good. Solid economic basics, essentially. Economics in one lesson. The chapter we're on here, as you said, is the second to the last in the book. In my book, I believe it is third to last because I'm reading a more recent. There's
something about the mirage of inflation in there, or no? That's a chapter we already did.
This one has an additional part 3 called "The Lesson After 30 Years," so kind of a retrospective after the fact. And the lesson here, the one lesson that that he kind of reiterates over and over again, is the idea of the seen and the unseen. So that is the concept of, well, you can give somebody a subsidy and you can see how that subsidy affects them.
You can see in St. Louis, you can see a lot of St. Louis Rams themed stores and merchandise available to buy, and you can see what the Rams and their presence has done to for their part fortify the economy of St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're not seeing is what the subsidies that were paid to the St. Louis Rams. You're not seeing what they would have done if they hadn't been given to the Rams.
Meaning
but
if they'd been in the hands of the people
if
who
they'd been
originally-
retained by the taxpayers, they would have put those funds to use and they would have done something. You're not seeing those things because instead it was given to the St. Louis Rams.
Right, and so we have to speculate about what they would have done, and they would likely have been better at allocating their funds than a bunch of government bureaucrats who allocate funds based on political persuasion or political preference.
But the bureaucrats only point to this thing and they claim that it's an unmitigated good, but in fact we don't know because people could have done any number of things with those resources.
So in this case, since we're going to be talking about savings, this section 3 of the chapter on savings, there's 4 sections, is about interest rates and basically the manipulations that the government use on interest rates and how that has an effect on things. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. It's Free Talk Live.
With uncertain times in the United States, it's only prudent to consider storing precious metals in a safe place outside of our borders. At Miles Franklin Limited, we have done just that for you. Partnered with the most respected storage company in the industry, Miles Franklin Limited is proud to offer the only fully insured private safe deposit box system in North America, held in Vancouver and Toronto. Send us your previously purchased precious metals or have one of our brokers help you purchase something new. Questions? Please call one of our experienced brokers at 866-485-4346. Solid foundational storage partnered with the most respected name in security. That's Miles Franklin Limited, celebrating our 29th year in business without ever receiving a customer complaint. Call us at 866-485-4346. Again, that's 866-485-4346. Miles Franklin Limited, a name you can trust.
I mean, it's just so hard to believe that it's really all gone.
It was in this living room 3 weeks ago that the Talbot family discovered their DVR had suddenly and inexplicably crashed, deleting more than 5 years' worth of recorded live events and miniseries.
I keep having flashbacks to that day, to that moment when I realized everything was gone.
You know, you hear stories about people who mismanage their device settings, but you never really think it could happen to you. Honestly, it feels like some sort of a dream, like when I wake up, I'll be able to just go downstairs, turn on the TV, and all the episodes will be there again, as if nothing had ever happened.
Friends and family of the Talbots have pledged their support, organizing DVD donations and offering passwords to online streaming services while the family struggles to move on.
We know that we'll never be able to replace all the hours of programming that we had, but I think in the end we'll be just fine. As long as we have our 5 seasons of Seinfeld on DVD.
This is the Onion News Network.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, the road to freedom. a film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live Sunday edition of the program. You may dial in toll-free right here and join us. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And our Skype username is lrn.fm. And we have a Discord call-in line. In fact, we got somebody waiting there. We're going to go to him here in moments. But with you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Mark.
Check out liberty.menu for the best liberty-oriented business/events/media locator that you're ever going to find.
Do you want to do business with people who believe like you believe?
Yeah.
If that's the case, go to liberty.menu and check out what's in that area. If you have a business, by God, go there and list it.
List it. It's
so
free.
That people
to do that.
know. Free Talk Live has teamed up with liberty.menu, like really teamed up. Like we're in with them now. We're all together. It's one thing.
Yep.
With the intention
We're
of
partners, not just advertisers.
And we wanted to bring this to our listeners because you guys have demanded it for a very long time, and liberty.menu is doing it right. Liberty.menu.
Yep, liberty.menu is super easy to use. I think you're going to really like it. And obviously, if you got any feedback, the designers, we know them personally, so they're gonna listen to that stuff. So please let us know, let them know. Liberty.menu. We will see you over there. As we continue, we'll take your calls and your thoughts. We go to the Discord on-air call-in line at discord.lrn.fm, where Rat Speed is on the line. Hello, Rat Speed.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
I've got a question.
Before
you go on, rat speed. Is that the speed at which a rat travels, or is this a drug that one gives to rats?
Oh, there are so many layered anagrams and ulterior, not ulterior. What am I saying? It's a name that I created for myself as I became part of a fan club, which would take much too long for me to describe in the next
Neither one of
minutes.
those things. It's neither one of those things. Okay.
Yes, but well, I just real quick wanted to make. I heard you guys talking about the price of Bitcoin going up and down recently, and just wanted to put a plug out for someone that I respect out there. His name's Rick Falkvinga. I don't know if
we met him. We met him at Anarchapulco last year. That's the founder of the Pirate Party over in Europe.
The Swedish Pirate Party. That's correct. He's gone on to be a really big proponent of Bitcoin, and actually, for the most part, over the last year, he's been a proponent of Bitcoin Cash or any kind of a cryptocurrency that is more usable.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually been a big defender of Roger Ver, as well as others that have been bashed recently. And
is he an anarchist? I mean, he comes across as very anti-state.
It depends on. I mean, he founded the Pirate Party. You tell me, right?
Yeah. Well, some of the Pirate Party is, not very anarchist sounding. I mean, they depends who you ask, basically.
That's true. That's true.
But he's not in charge of all of the pirate parties, so his opinions don't necessarily reflect on the pirate parties of the world.
His viewpoints are rather interesting, considering that he comes from Sweden, which is, historically a socialistic leaning country. But he I'll put it this way. I mean, and he talks about it in his bio and some of the talks that he's given. He's been online for years, ever since the late 70s, early 80s. And he has been, I guess you could say his worldview, his vision, his focus, and his philosophies have all been guided in the ways of disruptive technologies, because that's pretty much the type of culture, lifestyle, society that he has lived. So I would call it, I mean, if you could call anything a political party, I would probably call it a technologist or an internetarian or something. It's really hard to define. I mean, I don't think he's ever called himself an anarchist, but a lot of the views and philosophies would either be libertarian and definitely leaning toward anarcho-capitalism. That's for sure.
He seems to be a disruptor, and that is a it's
an important role.
Yeah, I say that in the best ways that one can is that somebody needs to go in and tinker with things to see if they work.
Right.
They need to road
or break
test
them.
stuff.
Yeah.
And he has a big background in both technology, programming, and the banking industry. He deals with he's a businessman, so he deals with the banks and with the legislators all the time, tax auditors, whatever. So he knows what he's talking about. That's why I really trust his what he talks about. So the plug that I wanted to put out for him is that recently on his YouTube channel, and it's called We Are All Satoshi, or We Are Satoshi, I think is what it's called. He's been really concentrating on trying to get the cryptocurrency communities back on track with a path for adoption. Some of the talks that he's been discussing on his videos have talked about what the opposition to creating something like either Bitcoin Unlimited, Bitcoin Cash, or any of the alternatives have been. And but the reason why I wanted to talk about him today is because just in the last 24 hours, he put out a really good video to try to kind of get the communities to get back on track to that path of adoption. And he, in other words, he's trying to be a little bit more positive about it rather than just ranting and complaining about, what the state of the community is. And so he laid it all out there, just like a business presentation, with slideshows and everything. His production value is really good. And what he says, I think, has a lot of merit. So I just wanted to push it out there and let people know that, hey, this guy's talking about some stuff I think we should all be looking at it.
Where's the best place? I know that he's a blogger on Steemit. I follow him there. Is that probably the best place to find him?
That, or if you just put in, it's kind of hard to. Okay, so I'll say it in English. Yeah, which is basically it's Swedish for Rick Falkenwing.
Okay.
Okay, that's what it said, but it's Falkvinge.
That's correct.
And if you just put that into YouTube, you can find his channel pretty easily. You can see all of the talks that he's mentioned, not just about Bitcoin, but about everything that he's about. So I really like listening to him. He's one of those people that makes me smile.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for the recommendation, Ratspeed. I do appreciate hearing from you tonight.
I liked when we were able to interview Rick Falkenwing at Anarchapulco last year.
Yes, that's why I said it was where we met him.
It was great.
Yeah, he was great. And I don't know if he's going to be there this year. I don't think he's on the guest speakers list that we've seen, but that doesn't mean he won't be present. So we'll let you know as we get closer to Anarchapulco in just a couple of weeks. If you want to join us here on the radio, you can do that. Our toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. And so we were talking about economics in One Lesson, the chapter on savings, one of the end chapters of the book. Certainly an important topic. Maybe that's why he saved it for last. Number 3 out of the 4 parts of the chapter is not so much about the individual savings, but the idea of interest rates and how those affect spending versus savings.
I would like to say that part 3 of this chapter has a footnote that, if I had seen it earlier, would have simplified some of our discussions weeks ago, starting talking about this issue, because he gives us some definitions, and I'll read it.
Sure.
Many of the differences between economists in the diverse views now expressed on this subject are merely the result of differences in definition. Quote, savings and, quote, investment may be so defined as to be identical. That's how, speaking parenthetically, that's how kind of I look at it, Johnny Ray. Savings and investment may be so defined as to be identical and therefore necessarily equal. Here I am choosing to define savings in terms of money and investment in terms of goods.
Okay.
This corresponds roughly with the common use of the words, which is, however, not always consistent. So savings would be, an example would be a savings account in a bank, and investment would be goods like a new building or
shares in a company,
a bulldozer. I think shares in a company would be considered saving and not investment.
Really? Even under that definition?
Yeah. Say investment. He's talking about
because a share isn't necessarily the same as money. I mean, it certainly is represented. It can be represented in its value in money, but so can all the other things that you were talking about buying. A share in a company gives you voting rights in a lot of cases, and ownership.
Seems like investment to me.
Sounds like an investment too. Well, Mark, you weren't here for the email that we got from Stefan Kinsella, which really laid out his opinion about savings being the same thing.
Our discussion was confused because we were bringing fractional reserve banking into it.
Well, I was also confused because Stefan Kinsella was talking way over my head. More coming up here in moments. Free Talk Live.
Live from the Verticoin studio. This is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium 47 here on LRN.FM. When you hear the faucet, be caller 5 to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out Dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
Over the last 4 years, 3 of the biggest online precious metals dealers have gone bankrupt and their owners put in prison due to theft and fraud. Having previously purchased precious metals, can you be sure you purchased the right product? Did you receive proper advice? Or were you stung by one of these companies? Miles Franklin has been in business for 29 years without receiving any material customer or regulatory complaints ever. Maintaining an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating and residing in Minnesota, the only state in America that regulates the precious metals industry, making doing business in precious metals with Miles Franklin the safest choice, bar none. Call us at 866-485-4346 and let us review your portfolio at no commitment whatsoever. Again, that's 866-485-4346. Get the peace of mind you deserve in working with a precious metals company with a reputation like Miles Franklin. Again, that's 866-485-4346. Miles Franklin Precious Metals, the name you can trust.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government, the real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. Moments remain, but there's enough time for you if you want to dial in now. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we have Skype. Our Skype username is LRN.FM. And our Discord call-in chat line, which Ratspeed was just talking with us on. Sounded great, by the way. You can join us there at discord.lrn.fm. I've been talking with one of our Twitch chatters about the LRN.FM broadcast feed, which is the Liberty Radio Network that airs Free Talk Live. It airs the Call to Freedom and a bunch of other great liberty-oriented talk shows 24 hours a day. We do have the shows that are based in Keene, New Hampshire, which is where we are, in the LRN.FM studios. Those are now broadcast live on Twitch at twitch.lrn.fm. It's our only 720p HD feed. We do still have our YouTube feed, but that is in half resolution. It's at, well, actually 360p, so it's probably like a quarter of the resolution of 720. So the highest resolution, most quality video is on Twitch. Go to twitch.lrn.fm, and thank you to the over 30 listeners who have, we're pushing 40, getting closer to 40 subscribers to the Twitch channel. That means the people who have, I think it was Amazon Prime, is like, of our 35 subscribers, 34 of them were Amazon Prime, and one person is a non-Amazon Prime subscriber. So with Twitch, you can subscribe for $5 a month with a credit card or some other alternative payment system, or you can just throw us your Amazon Prime free subscription, because as an Amazon Prime user, and Mark, you actually did this. I saw you were one of the people who did this, because you and Laura have Amazon Prime at your house, and one of the perks that they give you as an Amazon Prime user is the ability to assign a subscription, one subscription for 1 month to the Twitch channel of your choice. Was it hard to do?
No, it was very, very easy. I did it while we were on the air.
Twitch.lrn.fm pulls up our channel. You can watch us live, and then there's a little subscribe pull-down menu, and I believe that's where you go to select Twitch Prime. So if you've already got Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to us, and it costs you nothing extra except for whatever time it took for you to go there and do that. Now, one of our other callers did tell us you have to do it every single month, that it won't be a recurring thing. So that may be, something that you might want to do, because every time you do it, it's basically $2.50 going into Free Talk Live and LRN.FM. So it's a great way to support the show. It costs you nothing except for the time to do it. So go to twitch.lrn.fm. You can watch the shows live. And we, a few weeks ago teased the idea of, well, what if Johnny Ray, who for a long time here has been bringing us Johnny Ray's Game of the Week as a feature that isn't really weekly, but whenever we talk about it, it is fun to talk about Johnny Ray's video game addiction and the games that he plays, because he plays some interesting sounding games, but no one has ever had the ability to actually watch Johnny Ray play the games that he's interested in playing until now. Now that we have a Twitch channel, we figured, well, when in Rome, let's get some video game streaming going on the LRN Twitch channel. And Johnny Ray, you very graciously agreed to do that. I have been, over the last few weeks, putting together the computer hardware necessary to make routing the audio and video possible so this can happen. And I've done enough testing now to where I'm confident that we can do this. Last night, I was up playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night on our Twitch stream at like 3 in the morning to about 4 or 5 people that were watching it at that time. So we're actually going to schedule, so instead of just randomly putting Johnny Ray on and saying, here he is, we're going to do it Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. So if you want to, what game do you know what you're going to play, Johnny Ray? Or are you going to figure that out before
No,
Wednesday?
I'm open to some suggestions. I think that what would be most interesting would be some kind of strategy game where I'm playing against Mark, and there's like a narrative being built.
We have gone at it on Civilization 5 in the past.
Yep.
That's a multiplayer game?
Yeah, it
is.
Can be.
Yeah, it can. Well, sure. I mean, yes, it absolutely could be.
It always struck me as like a SimCity kind of game where, you're just playing by yourself and fighting the computer, but they've changed that over the years, right?
But in this case, you have, you could choose between 2 people on the board or as many as like 12.
So it could be 2 players and then the rest computers.
It could be 12. Yeah. But probably if we did it, we'd probably just narrow it down to 2 to keep the game as short as possible.
Now, is this like, I was going to say, is it like Monopoly where it can just go on and on and on, or is it you can keep it a short game?
It's a conclusion. It's hard to make them short, but there's a conclusion to every game.
But you're looking at least an hour or 2 for
Oh,
game.
yeah. There's more than that.
Well, now, it's been a while since I played Civ, but you can play shortened, compressed style, can't you?
Yeah, I haven't played the shortest of versions. Maybe I should play one short 2-player just to see how it goes and see how quick it is.
So there's that. Hearthstone, I'm a big fan of that. I had made a bit of a New Year's resolution to stop playing Hearthstone because it was difficult for me to control my Hearthstone playing.
Oh, you were an addict.
Oh yeah. It's a great game.
Have you played since New Year's?
I have, but
So
I've basically
you've broken your resolution.
Yeah, I always do, but
fell off the wagon.
But no, what happens is I'll make a declaration and then I'll break it, but I will come back to it. So ultimately, I did stop playing Hearthstone, although it took me a while. I started with a severe reduction that was supposed to be an eradication, but that turned into me not playing it. But it's a game that I love to play.
Sure.
It's fun to watch. I have a hard time watching people who suck at games. It makes me angry. So that might be an issue for us because I'm not – I just don't have a whole lot going on upstairs. I don't think very quickly.
Please.
But still could be fun anyway. And so the answer to your question is I really don't know.
Okay.
Feel free to suggest a game.
How would one suggest a game to you?
They would suggest it to you.
To me?
Yes.
So I've got to take the suggestions and forward them to you, Johnny Ray.
You need to organize them first.
I would say if you want to make a suggestion, maybe in the gaming chat room on the Discord, discord.lrn.fm, and we can drag Johnny Ray in there. Did you ever sign up for the Discord, Johnny Ray?
No.
You ought to.
Okay.
When you get a chance. Go to discord.lrn.fm. We got a gaming room in there. There's cryptocurrency discussion room. And there's voice and text chat as well. But check out twitch.lrn.fm. And thanks to the over 150, I think now, subscribers, or darn close to it. Or excuse me, not subscribers. There's followers and there's subscribers. We have over 150 followers and like 35 to 40 subscribers. And so whenever we go live on Wednesday at about 2 o'clock Eastern time with you, all of the followers will be given a notice. Oh, hey, LRN is streaming live. And so that'll be our first official scheduled video game streaming. There may be some more unscheduled game streamings that just sort of happen whenever they happen.
And I've been playing a game called Slay the Spire. That's
what else would you do with a spire?
Climb one? Isn't a spire something you
do that? Yeah.
I think slaying is like the last thing you would do to a spire.
I don't know. That sounds very strange.
All right. So we were talking about economics in one lesson. The chapter on savings, part 3 of that chapter is about, mostly it's just about interest rates and how when the government is manipulating these interest rates on, let's say, loans, for instance, what it costs to get a loan, when they lower these rates artificially, that results in people malinvesting. It results in people who see a great price on getting a loan, and because of the great price, they would do something they otherwise wouldn't do, just to say take out a loan.
Let's pursue my dream.
Because the money's so cheap, is the idea.
Yeah, he's talking about saving and investment and their relationship to each other, and he describes it as supply and demand, and that the price is what coordinates supply and demand in the free market, and the interest rate is the price of money. So you've got money that maybe wants to be invested, and the interest rate it occurs naturally, and it's a function of how much idle money there is. If there's a lot of money that's ready that can be invested, then the interest rate will be low. And if there's not a lot of money that's idle and ready to be put into some new project, if it's relatively scarce, then the interest rate is going to be high. And an interest rate occurs naturally, but governments around the world want to spur economic activity in their own country, and they feel like, and they see that they want investment to be happening, and they're not seeing it happen to the degree that they want.
Lower the rates.
They start monkeying around with the interest rates.
And it doesn't sound on its face like a bad idea. I mean, hey, lower rates. Why wouldn't you want lower rates on getting a loan, right? I mean, everybody wants lower rates on things, so it sounds like a fine thing to do. But there are consequences to this.
Yeah, because what you're dealing with is real resources. And those are finite at any snapshot, at any given point in time.
Even though the government can print the money out, ultimately they don't get to increase the value that's available.
They can't increase the number of bulldozers in the country
to people. And if those resources go to people who are otherwise not really ready for it or whatever, that are maybe investing when they shouldn't, then those are going to be squandered, whereas they could be better put to better use. We'll continue with more on the savings chapter, part 4 of it, probably coming up next week. But of course, the message here is government should not set interest rates. Let the market decide. We'll see you tomorrow. freetalklive.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm. The latest edition of Liberty Lampoon is next on the Liberty